3 shots, 4 par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, it drew, shoot and make Gavin, 2 thumbs that's up high and 2 fingers.
You know, obviously I probably put together a bit of a thumbnail here. That's a bit of a teaser and stuff like that. So maybe we won't say the number right off the hop, Bryce, but we might have to. But so Bryce went low. Bryce went really low, lower than. Well, I played some executive courses that I maybe shot this kind of round on, but
probably lower than I should have with the amount I play. I probably didn't deserve it with the amount I play, but I played well.
Of course you deserved it, man. Of course you deserved it. So what was you know, we might have to give up the number soon enough, but what was different? Like what happened in this round? We're choosing to have a podcast about this one, which is, you know, we see so many like course vlogs and stuff like that. Like players like Grant Horvat or Garrett will do like kind of something, post like a 59 video and stuff like that. So you were just dialed the whole day. So the phone didn't even come out one day for a video, nothing like that. So we don't have any footage of this, but we do have witnesses.
We have one witness.
We have one witness.
My brother-in-law. But just before we get any further into this, I know that this, like, for some people, this number is just average, but for me and Mac and kind of guys at our level, like this is, I mean, I was pretty proud of myself. It's a very good accomplishment, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it because it's career low. So
you should be, man. It's a career low, and this is
to get that out of the way.
This is a number that we would see on like a Friday afternoon in a PGA Tour event, or like you know, some of our past guests are shooting these kind of numbers that are being paid to play the game, right? So bit of a teaser there. Obviously it's something in the 60s, which is clean, which is really nice. So start us off, like take us through, like you know, I want the full day. Bryce gets up in the morning. What did you eat? What was different about the day? Was there anything different about the day?
I don't even know if I remember.
You know, did you get the McGriddle instead of the
was it on a weekend? I can't even remember now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But
one sec, I have the date on the golf ball. One sec.
We don't have to go into that many details about it, but obviously, like, I feel some days, like, and I'm sure if you're listening to us right now, you felt the same way. You like get to the course, you're feeling really good, you're feeling like you've got a different type of mojo going or something like that. You're just feeling like you're going to shoot a better round than you do, and then you hosel one on the first tee, and then you triple bogey, and then, you know, you're back to reality, right? So
yeah, so I didn't hosel one off the first tee, but I did hosel one in the round though, which is kind of funny. But so it was on a Monday. I think I got off work a little early, got what I needed to get done, and kind of took off. And I know my boss mentioned that he was gonna want to try and play, and so I was all right. Let's go. Like he said he had to run home quick and figure something out, and I said, all right, I'll go home, kind of hang out and let me know. And then he kind of got back to me maybe 20, 30 minutes after I got home and said, hey, I won't be able to make it. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not playing today. And then, but I was already kind of off and in the mood to play. So I kind of did my rounds in my phone and tried to see if I could pick a buddy up. And I was prepared to go by myself, but good thing I didn't. But found my brother-in-law. He was like, hey, I'm on my way home. I got off a little early too. Like, let's go play.
Yeah.
So we had a 4:03 tee time later in the evening. Packed. Course was packed. Round took in 5 hours and 20 minutes probably.
Which would wipe me out. There was absolutely no way I'm able to concentrate for 5 hours on playing around a golf.
Yeah, we were waiting on every tee deck and pretty much in every fairway, which was unfortunate. And we were gonna leave after 9, but I was 3 under after the front 9, so I kind of had to convince him that he needed to stay with me and finish this thing out, whether it turned into a 78 or what it did turn out to be. So that was kind of how the day went.
Mac here from Manscaped, introducing the Beard Hedger from our friends over at Manscaped. With 20 different lengths, you can look good from the cart path to the clubhouse. Shop manscaped.com using the promo code OTSGolf for 20% off plus free shipping. Shop any and all Manscaped products at manscaped.com using the promo code OTSGolf for 20% off plus free shipping. We'll see you on the back nine. Mac here for BioSteel. We absolutely love this one on the pod. The hydration mix has been in our golf bags forever. The hydration mix has been designed in the most natural way possible to help you stay hydrated throughout your round of golf. Zero sugar formula is made from clean, quality ingredients and contains no artificial flavors and colors, added vitamins and minerals to help support overall good health, normal function of your golf swing, and your immune system. Simply mix it into some water, and you can enjoy it through all 18 holes. Clean, healthy hydration. Zero sugar, natural health product, no artificial flavors or colors, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives, caffeine free, NSF certified for sport. Biosteel.ca, biosteel.com. Use the promo code SCREWS30 for 30% off your order. SCREWS30 for 30% off your order. Stay hydrated, my friends. So any warm up, anything? You trunk slam,
Nothing.
get right to the tee? Okay.
Right to the tee.
Did you roll a putt? Nothing.
No.
You've played the course before?
Like 3 times. I
Okay.
knew the course. I
Okay.
played a couple times, but
So we have
didn't play it this
intel.
year yet.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of intel. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right on. So, like, what was like the feeling walking up? Like, we're on the first tee. Like, you feeling good? Feeling like,
Yeah, it was just a normal round. I usually don't warm up too much because I'm late to everything, so I usually just show up on time unless it's like a nice course and I'm prepared and I have time to go hit balls or whatever. I'm usually
Right.
just showing up and hitting the ball at the first tee. And
we talked about
My
like
driver-
your mental approach though. So like you were saying to yourself, like we are lucky enough to talk with pro golfers every week, right? So one of your best friends is one of them. So
Yeah.
you talked about like having not like the decade approach, but you were talking about like, you know, playing it a little bit safer. So
I think I was kind of going after the decade approach without kind of knowing how to use decade properly.
yeah.
I kind of decided it more after my first tee ball. I striped one right down the middle of the fairway and had like, I think it was 104 in. And I kind of just told myself this pin was in the middle of the green, but I told myself, go right at the center of the green. It was kind of off to the right, so I was like, if it fades, great. If not, I have a 20-footer, and that's kind of the idea of decade, is to not really go at the pin directly.
Right.
So it did fade a little bit, and I still had and I knew it sloped from back to front. The slope kind of downhill to the front of the green, not so much a false front, but kind of sloped a little bit. So I was like, leave yourself below the hole, have an uphill putt, and give it a chance for birdie. So I did. Left it below the hole, relatively straight putt, maybe a little left to right, and it was about a 16 footer, and just canned it right off the rip. So I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. Okay. So if by chance Scott Fawcett is listening to this pod, we want to get you on. We want to like learn more about the decade, like all the theories and stuff behind it. We would love to because it's fascinating when we talk to pros and stuff that are currently using it in their game. So, so birdie off the first tee, par 4.
Yep, par 4.
Yeah,
It was 413 from the tip.
Feeling good. So can we go through a couple holes on the front and
so
just
par
let us know how it
5
went?
coming up next, 500 yards, dogleg left. I mean, it's not it's 6,600 yards, so it's a true score, I would say. Like, it's long enough to be legit, but I'm pretty long, so for me, that doesn't play too long, so I'm cutting a lot of corners out there, and I was trying to cut the corner on the dogleg left. I hit a cut, so I got to cut it a little more than someone who would draw, and kind of flared it a bit to the right rough. It was still fine. I had a clear shot. I had an 8-iron in from, I had a bit of a flyer lie, so I think it was 195 or 192 or something. So I hit an 8-iron again. Pin was tucked way right with a bunker in front, so I didn't even look at it. I just tried to hit it at the center of the green and got it up there pin high and had probably a 40-footer and just took my 2-putt for another birdie. So I was 200 through 2. So
not a bad start. So at this point, like, are you feeling like anything different when you're thinking, okay, like I'm just trying to like play to the middle of the green. Now I'm 2 under. Like, would you have typically approached that shot any differently? Like, would you try and like aim down the pin?
That shot, yeah, I usually would try to hit a cut, like overcut it most of the time. I try to aim at the middle of the green and hit that cut. But I aimed. When I say aim middle of the green, I aimed to the left side to cut it into the middle of the green is what I aimed at, because I know it's gonna flare a little. That's just my swing and how I hit the ball. So But no, I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, I make enough birdies when I play to kind of not really think anything of it. It's just two in a row. It's the same as having two in four holes, you know. It's not really. I
Yeah.
didn't think anything of it.
I don't know though.
Um,
When you start around, it feels kind of special when you go like birdie birdie. Like it's
oh, I
there's
was
something
fired
to it.
up. I just didn't think it would come out to what it did because I usually make a few bogeys and a few more bogeys and a double here and there. So I didn't really think anything of it. But
Okay, so take us through how does the do you birdie the third hole?
no, three, four, two pars, but really good pars. I
Okay.
mean, three, I striped one, put it another wedge to the center of the green, 20 feet, two putt. Same concept in my head.
So take me to your
Um,
first par three, unless you have a birdie in front of it.
I do. So number five is another par five, dogleg right this time. So I just smash a cut as hard as I can, like aim down the center fairway, just let it cut into the dog leg.
Okay.
I forget what yardage I had left, but I think I hit another 8 iron into it. Um, left it.
So
No, I had a wedge. I had
what's the idea of your stock 8 iron? What's your yardage? So just so people know.
180, 182.
Yeah. So again, if you're like a new listener by chance or somebody who might not have listened to us talk about our games, like an 8 iron for me is like 155, 160,
Mm,
something like that. So Bryce is, and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of our listeners as well. Bryce is a pretty long hitter, so
yeah.
that's not rare for your type. Like just go to our Instagram. One of our first pin posts is like, you do rip it into the woods, but like you see your swing, like that swing speed
Mm.
is there, right? So
Yeah, I bring it.
okay,
Sometimes
so
a little too much, but I didn't have an 8. I had a 52-degree wedge. I think I had 130, but again, pin at the back with a little slope in front of it, so I was just like, short's fine.
yeah.
Um, I proceed to chunk it short of the green, and then, well, not short of the pin, and then miss my par putt and make another birdie. So, or my eagle putt and make another birdie. So
Yeah. So just a
again,
couple
another just
tap ins
another
for
tap it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Uh,
So first par three, is it after that one?
yep. 206, pretty decent one.
Okay.
A little downwind. Hit my just a not stock 7 irons like 190, 195, but downwind I was like it'll take it a couple yards. Front short's
Yeah.
fine. Hit it, and the sun was kind of hitting it weird, and there was like a little mound in front of the pin, so I saw it hit and bounce, and I was like, did that go long? And I was mind blown because there's no way I'm hitting a 7 iron 220. Pin was in the front, and so I was pretty rattled going up to the green. I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna make bogey. Got up there, and it was just over that front mound, pin high,
Okay.
two putt
Nice.
par.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, really good. And then kind of just parred my way out.
So were you feeling like
On
pressure at that point, Bryce? Like you said, like, oh, I'm gonna make bogey. So were you feeling like more pressure than you typically would?
a little bit more, when I had that situation where I thought it went long more, I was kind of mad at myself for kind of miscalculating more than pressure, if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
was kind of like, oh, like you miscalculated it, whatever. But I'm always the one to say, okay, just get up and down and make your par. Like I'm not really thinking, I don't really think about bogeys because I make so many of them and they don't really bother me that much.
Yeah.
But
Preach. Yeah.
um, but then I go on to par. Actually, seven, I missed an 8 footer for birdie, which sucked. But hard seven.
We did talk about how there were some left out there. So there was even a
It's
couple.
crazy to say, but there really was.
Yeah.
Um,
So
eight.
so
Hard.
sorry, you're wrapping up the front nine here. So I was just kind
Yep.
of I didn't want you to move on to the back nine without giving us
No,
kind of
yeah.
the front nine
Eight,
recap.
eight, par three, 158. Sculled like thin to pitching wedge. Got to the green, two putt par, pretty standard. Nine, I made one of the better up and downs I've ever made. Um, Caught a flyer, went way deep, probably 20 yards behind the green. I didn't think it was gonna be a flyer. The lie looked fine, but it flew on me. 20 yards behind it to a front pin with a downslope going towards the front of the green, kind of like the few I've talked about already.
Yeah.
It hit a peachy little 56, like little soft, fluffy one that landed maybe 40 yards or 40 feet in front of the pin, and it rolled just past. Greens are pretty quick. Rolled just past it, and I had about an 8 footer coming back for par. And my brother-in-law was actually 40 feet behind the pin and rolled his putt before me, and he just inched his way behind me. So I'm like, do I be a dick and make him putt it before me, or do I just play ready golf and and go.
Yeah.
And I made the decision that because he was outside of me, he was technically away, and I figured I would use the advantage of seeing the putt first.
Of course.
So it wasn't cheating; it was
No.
strategic. But
How
so
far was it?
I had an 8-footer. It was a decent
Okay.
putt,
Yeah. Yeah.
swinging from right to left. Not huge, but a slight movement, and I saw that. I wanted to confirm it with his putt, so I watched him putt it, and then I proceeded to bury the putt for a front nine of 33.
33. I like that. So, we would have talked about my 33 on the front last year at Port Hope that I followed up with a 48. So,
Yeah,
this one obviously I wrapped up with an 81 there. You ever shoot 33 on the front and go for an 81? It's not a
Yeah.
good day, man. That's not a good day at all.
my day could have went that way, but it didn't.
Yeah. So okay, you're kind of wrapping up. You're waiting a little bit. You grab like anything at the turn.
Well, we almost left after 9. We were talking about it on like hole 5 because it was so jammed. It was taking forever. And that was me assuming I was going to make a couple bogeys coming in, and it was going to be an even par round, and it would have been another day on the golf course. But I proceeded to par out, and I looked and I was like, dude, we got to just battle through these last 9 holes. I don't care. Like, this could be a career low for me.
Yeah.
So we just got to battle it out. So he's like, yeah, okay, let's go. That's fine.
So no boxes on the card at this point at all.
Not a bogey on the card.
Okay,
No.
I like it. Wow. Okay.
Um,
All right. So
filled my Yeti up with ice at the turn, poured another Gatorade in, and just kind of kept cruising.
okay. So how do you start off the back 9? How did it go?
4 pars in a row.
Okay.
So I just par 4, par 3, par 4, just kind of same mentality. Hit it to the center of the green, make your 2 putt, and if you drain one, great. If not, great. Keep moving on. So
we're going to the 14th tee with no bogeys.
correct, and nothing really special on those first 4 holes. It was just
Okay.
routine pars, which was awesome. I was happy.
But you're hitting greens though.
Yeah, oh yeah. My green in regulation was 81% that day.
Right. So
Which is for me amazing. I mean, for anyone that's pretty
for
good.
anyone
yeah.
that's great, right? So it just kind of shows the idea of like, and it sounds like when you haven't mentioned it really, but when you and I were talking, Brycer, you were saying that you're hitting a lot more hybrids off. So you hit a really straight drive, so it's not really necessary, but your length can be sort of penalizing as well, right? Like,
Well, it hurts me too because if you get me under 100 yards, I struggle a lot with my wedges. That's one part of my game where I don't excel very much.
and that's just a practice thing, man. I find the same
For sure,
thing.
I don't play enough.
I'm not practicing nearly as much this year or playing all that much really. Not as much as I have. So like I would rather hit, not always rather, but for me, like I'd rather hit a 130 shot sometimes than a 75-yard shot.
For sure.
It's just a
But
lot
back
easier
to my
going in.
7th hole where I said I missed that 8-footer, that was a chip from 60 yards. So obviously that part of my game was on that day, and it is what it is. I don't know why, but it just was on. So
Yeah.
But 14 is where I kind of really started to pick up, or go down, I guess, in score relativity. Par 5, slight dogleg left, but I was not happy on this tee box because I had a good round going, and I had a cut like we've talked about, and the tips is like farther back, and there's these group of trees right on the left side of directly in front of you, like 30 yards from the tee deck, so I can't hit driver because it would go right into those trees, or I would just bail out way right, which is all fescue and long grass. So I texted my brother and I was like, I can't believe I'm playing a par 5 where I can't hit driver right now. I was pretty upset.
Yeah, I have the same thing. The other day, I'll just tell a quick story, but we've all played Port Hope, or well, you and I played Port Hope. So number 12 with the houses on the left-hand side. The other day I went 5-iron, 52, and that was the first birdie I made there all year. So, and I hit it to like 4 feet. It was a little slider down the hill and stuff like that. It was great. But, there's something to that though, right? Like, because I've hit drivers so many times, I'll, push it and I'll be on somebody's rooftop or in their eavesdrop gutters.
Pull it into the crap over there on the right.
A lot of times I'll pull it. I have like that safety pull. So sometimes I'll just pull it like OB, or even sometimes I'll pull it and I'll hit it right through the fairway. Like in the middle of the summer, if you get a piece of it, like you would hit it through. You would
Or it
definitely
kind
hit
of
it through the
jets
fairway.
back out to the left there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes the landing zone like 10 yards wide. It's really
Mhm.
difficult. So I just hit 5 iron off the tee. For me, that's a 200-yard club or 190-yard club, something like that. And I hit another
Mhm.
5 iron, and then I hit a 52 to like 3 feet. And it was
Mhm.
great. Like it was a great
Yep.
hole. I played it well. And, I think it's kind of boring golf, but sometimes there's
works,
something
yeah.
to it, right? Like there's
Mhm.
obviously like you were playing quote unquote boring golf. So
Mhm.
on that day, or like playing it a little bit more reserved, but obviously you got a career low. So let's go for it. Let's hear the rest of the hole.
Yeah, so I pulled hybrid because I know I can hit it dead straight. I mean, there's like maybe a 2 yard cut. So and it goes. My hybrid usually goes 250, 260. It's a three hybrid. But I just held back a little because I ranged the last tree on my aiming line and it was 260. So I was like, I gotta take a little off it. So
Yeah.
kind of just babied one out there, felt one out there to the middle of the fairway, and I was like, all right, whatever. Get it up there, lay up, make birdie, get out of there, go to the next hole. Got up there at 262 to a back pin. Um,
Was it short par four?
it was a par five that was 503.
Oh, okay. Sorry. This is a shot in. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I 262, middle of the fairway, good lie in the fairway, obviously. I probably, looking back, shouldn't have went for it because there's a bunker in front of the back left pin, but I proceeded to take hybrid and go for it because I said if I'm up there, I can chip and still make birdie. It's fine. Not much trouble behind it. Not that I thought I was gonna go long, but
A-
absolutely pured one.
Anything
I think I
short? Anything short of the
just
like
a bunker
just the
short left,
right?
and
Okay.
I was aiming at it because I knew I was gonna cut it back to the pin. This was probably the only pin all day where I went for it, honestly, and it was probably the from the farthest, which doesn't make sense, but for some reason in my head at that time it made sense. Um, so I pured it, and I think I got in the cart, put my head cover on, and put my club in the bag before the ball hit the ground because I knew how good it was. Um, I looked at my brother-in-law and I was like, "Oh, it's perfect."
Such a
I
good
didn't,
feeling. Such a
I
good
didn't
feeling,
know,
man.
I didn't really think about the distance, but I knew it was just going to be good. It looked perfect, and it probably a 10 yard cut landed front of the green, and you know those ones where it rolls just behind the pin and they look like they have a chance. Yeah,
Yep.
my heart sank when I saw it go towards that pin, and I left it 12 feet behind the pin and hit a pretty good putt. I mean, it broke probably 10 inches. It was a bit of a, it was uphill, but it broke a lot. Not uphill, but it had kind of a ridge on the right side, so I had to kind of ride the ridge
Yeah.
and just buried it for eagle. So
Nice. So we're
it was
five
kind of
under at this
funny.
point.
Yeah, it was kind of funny too because I called my brother right like going up to the green to show him the shot. I'm like I'm 3 under, like I'm low right now for me, and I got this eagle putt. And he goes, "Let me watch it." I was like, "All right," and I got down and read it, and I was like, "Oh,
That
I
would
see."
that's totally Blaker's voice too. He
I
would
know.
say that. Let me watch it, like just
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
said. Yeah.
And you know those putts where you just look at it and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I see the line, like
See
it's
those
up."
all the time, man. See those
So
all the
yeah,
time.
right.
I'd be a
So
I'd be a 15, 20 handicap if I didn't see some of those, man. It's
yeah. So here's Jakey right here. Actually, we're talking about my round. Um, but so yeah, I set up a little tee. I put a tee in the green and prop my phone right up for him and just absolutely buried it right in his face. So
nice.
that was a good feeling.
We've talked about it
Um,
before too. So Blake's got some low rounds. Obviously, Blake's a great golfer and stuff too. So it's
yeah, he's better than me, so I like to
yeah.
give him shit when I'm playing
Yeah, of
well.
course, man. Of course, he won't come on the pod and talk some golf with us, but we heard Gordo say like he gave us some proof. Blaker can he can kind of read a green. He can. I know he's
Yeah,
caddying for Zach and stuff like that too. So we're 15th hole. We're 5 under now.
we're 5 under.
Okay.
Um, yeah, 15th tee. Um, it's a municipal course, like a public track. So I was making jokes to all my buddies, saying like, "Do I call the clubhouse and get someone out here for the last few for course record?" But that was more jokingly than serious. But par three, 193, another pretty long one. Slightly downwind, hit 8 iron again. Kind of fatted it, but some reason it got there. It was short left to a
Yeah.
back right pin. So I was fine with it. Again, just made my 2-putt par and got out of there. 16, I'm starting to get a little nervous. Not shaking yet, but I say yet because I was at one point, but not really shaking yet, but kind of just I'm starting to think about it. It's the lowest I've ever been, and it's kind of in my head. Um, Hit a good drive. Ball didn't cut on me, just went dead straight. It was just a straight par four, but there was trees on the left, so I was a little nervous of the ball when it was in the air. It found a way to kind of just get past them, so I had a shot, which is fantastic. I got up there though, and there's a huge ridge on the left, just in front of the green, and the pin was like, I don't know, 6 yards behind it. So I was like, this is so tough to go for, but I'm just gonna play to the middle of the green, whatever. I actually drew the ball for once,
Ooh.
and it went like 5 feet, and I was like, oh, here we go, and just buried another birdie for 6 under through 16.
Damn. All right, so we still got time for the wheels to fall off, but so we're walking up to 17. You started to get the shakes a little bit.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
freaking out. I was 6 under through 16. Never been there before, never been remotely close to that before. I'm starting to not I'm not trembling, but I'm starting to get that nervous feeling and
Of
the
course, yeah.
anxiety through the roof, and just a short par four. Um Not short, it's 418, but it's the landing zone's pretty short. I had hybrid and driver in my hand, both of them on the tee deck, debating on which one to hit. Should have 100% hit my hybrid and put it to the middle of the green. Decided to take driver, double cross my cut, went left into the fescue,
Okay.
and
So
I'm
what
like,
was the
here we
thought?
go.
What was the thought on? So you said the landing zone was kind of short. What would be short? Like 250, something like that for your
Yeah,
hybrid?
250, 240.
So
Yeah,
what's the
and
carry distance for you to hit driver? What was the thought process that made you hit
it
driver?
was wide open. I just had to go over a bunch of trees to cut it back into the fairway. So it was kind of like a cluster of trees on the left side.
Right.
It didn't continue to the green. It was just a cluster that I had to just go over. I couldn't see where my ball would have landed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so short par four. So obviously, I don't know how the outcome of this hole goes, but so yeah, you should have hit hybrid though,
Yeah,
definitely.
100. Looking
Yeah,
back, yeah, but
especially because you're still hitting a 9 iron in or less. You might be hitting
correct,
pitching. So
correct.
so
Which
even yeah, when you're thinking to that, you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna either be hitting a 56 or a 60 in
yeah,
little flip wedge, or I still have the control of the 9 iron at this point in time. Like I do not want to box on the card. I don't. Yeah.
but
So
Blake's also in my head saying 6 under, you want 9 under, be
yeah.
aggressive.
And
So
you and I had this conversation too, and I
yeah,
did say the same thing. I did
which
say,
is fair. I
you know,
mean, you're there already that deep. You might as well try to go deeper, right?
yep.
So
Yeah, so it was
I
one of those things, right, where you have two schools of thought. You've talked about it where I don't think 6 under is within my game, especially anymore. Like a few years ago, I had that one special round at Dundas where I was like, I was playing a scramble, but we pretty much had it was like mine for like the first 6 holes or something like that. I had almost the eagle, or I had almost a hole in one on the par four. I had an eagle as well, so I think that those things are there, but I can't keep that consistent for 18 holes. But man, like that's such a tough decision to make at that time, Brycer.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't regret it. It is what it is.
all right, so how'd the rest of the
It'll
hole
work
go?
out.
How'd it go?
Yeah, so I'm in the left fescue. We drive up there, and with the cluster of trees there, I can't see where it landed. So
Right.
I'm up there. I'm trying to guess the distance it went. I'm trying to guess left and right where in the fescue it is. This fescue is probably 50 yards wide, so it could be anywhere. Um, so I'm stomping through this fescue, and we're still waiting on mostly every green and tee deck, so I had
Yeah.
enough time to look. Um, so whatever, I look for maybe 5 minutes, and I'm just kind of like, all right, I got to drop. I guess I'm not just gonna sit here all day and look for it, even though I wanted to.
Yeah.
I proceeded to grab a ball out of my bag and I was about to drop it. My brother-in-law goes, "I got it." And I was like, "No way you have my ball." And I said that to him. I was like, "No way it's mine." And he goes, "Are you playing a Pro V1?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It has weird letters on the side of it. I don't know what it is. It's a ball. It's not even a brand new ball. I just found it. I was just
Yeah.
using it." And it went over. It says "hold fast" on the side of it. I don't know
Okay.
what it's from or why, but and there it was on the side of the ball. And I was like, "Wow, that's my ball." And I gave him a big hug. I was like, "Thanks, buddy. You might have just saved a bogey for me." But still a tough shot. I had overhanging trees. I was just at the end of that cluster of trees, so I had to keep it low. I couldn't hit a full shot.
Okay.
And then there was one single little tree, maybe 12 feet tall, short left of the green. And I tried to play my shot right, but I couldn't because that tree, there was one more tree in front of me on the right. So I kind of had this little chute to go through. I was out of the fescue. I just tried to hack punch a 7-iron, try to get it past that tree up there on the left, make a chip and make a putt for par. That was my goal. I didn't get clean contact out of the fescue and left it short of that tree on the green side. So I was directly behind it.
Ooh.
And I could either try to go under it, which there was a bunker there. So I would have had to go through the bunker, which was almost like not doable. So I tried to hit a 20-yard touchy flop shot over a 12-foot tree. So that was the predicament I was in.
Yeah.
I hit a good shot, just it went 40 yards to the back of the green. So I proceeded to two putt that for my bogey for the first bogey of the round.
That's a good two putt though, especially when you're,
Yeah.
because when you're standing over that putt thinking like how badly you want to make that.
Yeah.
You could
It might have been a little shorter than 40. It might have been 30 feet, but
you
it
could
was
have
long.
easily
It was,
rolled that 10 feet
for
past
sure.
too. Like
Oh, you know
really
what made
wanting
me
to get
mad
it.
too? I put with a line on my ball and
Yeah.
I lined up my line and then I stood over the ball and kind of saw something different and readjusted and I putted outside my original read on the line of my ball
Yeah.
and it missed on the right side by like a few inches. So I think if I just trusted my line and my read, it would have went in, which sucks, but I don't know that.
I've been doing that a lot this year. Like I feel like I'll like address a putt and I'll be kind of standing there and I'll feel something different in my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
I'm already 11 over at this point or whatever. So I'm like, whatever. And I move and then I think to myself, like, I think I had the line perfectly.
Yeah,
So
exactly what I did.
yeah, there's something about that that's happened quite a few times. So bogey, we get to 18.
So back to 5 under.
Yeah.
Um, 18, I'm still a little nervous, but obviously a little more relaxed because I got the bogey. I would have been bogey free if I didn't bogey that, so
Yeah.
that was in my mind. But I kind of got a little more relaxed. I was like, all right, just hit a drive, finish this out. 430-yard par four, straight down. Hit a drive. I was happy with it. I started it more left of my what I should have, and it was in the rough on the left, which was fine. I had to look to the green. I wasn't worried about it. Um, I had a 9-iron in my hand. I forget what the yardage was, but it was just a full, comfortable, as they say in all the TikToks, just a comfortable 9-iron for him. Just an easy one. I sculled it. Worm burner to the right, um, 20 yards short of the green. So I was like, here we go, back to back bogeys to end it. This is gonna suck. It could have been great, but I shook it off. I went up and hit a really good chip to 4 feet and buried the par putt for a 33 on the back for a 5 under 66 on par 71.
Impressive, man. Because we don't add any edits or anything like that. That's a clap. So that's a pretty impressive round. So the only thing that I would think of is that hybrid into the parlay off the
Yeah, I'm not one
like
to really dwell on it though. I don't really care.
well, I mean the
66.
hybrid into the but you made an eagle making that shot, right? So
Oh, you're talking
I
about
mean,
14.
onto the par five.
Yeah,
So
I even
and
said that
then
when I was talking about it. I don't know what was going through my head, but I was just go zone. So
yeah, and like theory, I guess on a short par 40, you probably should hit hybrid there, find that landing zone. Like for you, if it's a short par, like you could be hitting a 5 or 6-iron into that. But how
100%.
at what point do you get too Like, are you playing too defensively, right? So
Yeah. I don't know.
70,
My thing
yeah.
was like I was already that low. I might as well just try to see as low as I can
Yeah.
go. That was just it was fun. I was
Yeah, well,
ecstatic.
so if you think about it really, like you don't want to be like, "Oh, I got a bogey on the card or whatever," but you probably like won't make that eagle again. Like you will make that
Yeah.
eagle again cuz your length, but you probably won't make it that often. So those two kind of
No.
trade off. So I think
I say
66
that
was the
I
number.
told everyone that was the best eagle of my life, hands down. And
Yeah.
I've made a pretty good amount of them.
Mhm.
That one I was good.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I
Hmm.
like not to take anything around away from your game. I got like I've been lucky. I have a couple really cool eagles. Um like that par 4, that one I've
Yeah.
told you about, and then I holed out last year from like 125 or something like that, which was really cool. So it's always nice to make those when you make, you're going what, like 260 something into a par 5, so that's really cool. But man, that's an incredible round. So um yeah, par 71,
Yeah,
5 deep for a 66 career
past
low.
career low was 70 on the dot. So never broke 70 before and broke it by 4 shots. So pretty cool. I was pretty happy with myself, and
Yeah, that's a
66 will change you.
yeah, that's the lowest round for Yetman too, right? So
It is, yeah.
yeah,
I'll have that on Blaker for hopefully not too long. I hope he goes out and beats it, but I think I'll have it for a bit. His game's not where he needs to be right now, so I'll have that for a bit.
for a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of cool for us too, because Bryce and I always joke about, like, I go out and like my game right now is I'm literally just trying to hit golf shots. Like, I don't practice, I don't have the time, the effort put in to like really try and go low. Like, my handicap is absolutely ballooning lately, which is great for the cash, but you know,
Mhm.
I'm just out there trying to make like golf shots, right? So it's nice for
Mhm.
us to have a round that it's there, Bryce. It's there.
Yeah.
So who knows, man? We
Well,
might have to try a Monday or something like that. You just never know, man. You never know.
yeah. I don't know. Like you said, I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I was joking with my wife. I said, "All right, give me 3 months off work, unlimited cash, and let me just try this thing." But obviously, it wasn't serious because I don't think I have that in me. But um, I have it in me. I just who knows when it's going to come back again.
Yep.
I'll probably proceed to shoot 80 to 85 to 78 my next few rounds, whatever that is. But um, I'll eat it up for the time being, and
Yeah.
my head is huge right now, and all my buddies know that. So
Oh, it's like when I
yeah.
hit the hole in one last year, man. I talked about it for a while, right? And when you're, shooting a 66, you've got to, right? So,
Well,
um,
oh, how about this? I forgot. So I was just telling Mac before this. I shot 80 yesterday again, right? Like I said, right back to my normal self.
yeah.
My buddy had an ace in our group,
Oh, good for him, man.
buried one. And then I
Nice.
proceeded to go right behind him and land the ball, not kidding, 4 inches from the cup, and it spun back to 20 feet. But um, we almost had two aces back to back. But yeah, he jarred it.
Good for him, man.
That
What
was
a
sweet.
what a story.
His second hole in one on that course, two separate par threes.
That's sweet, man. I had a scare the other day. Same hole though, number 6 at Port Hope. I
Mm-hmm.
I landed one. It rolled about 4 feet past. But yeah, it went right across the cup though. It was pretty cool. I actually, in that round, I had something special going. I ended up shooting, I think I was telling you, I think I shot 76 or something with a couple doubles. I hit the pin on number 10. I hit the pin on number one,
Mm-hmm.
with a couple guys in the group behind me standing there. I hadn't even done up my shoes, didn't have a golf glove
Yeah.
on. Literally dropped the ball, hit the pin on number one. It still rolled out to like 20 feet or something like that, or 15
Mm-hmm.
feet, and I made a par. Um, it was like a decent round. Like, everything was going okay. I was hitting some good shots, and then I hit the pin on my approach on number 10 as well with a 9 iron. Like, really pushed my drive, and then it's something like I posted like an Instagram video where I walked up and you could see my ball mark, and then I went nope, and it was like 20 feet
Yeah.
away. But it's something to watch a ball hit a pin and bounce away, man. It's
Scares you.
it's a cool feeling though, because you think
Mm-hmm.
like I could have jugged it, or if it like just hit and stuck, like that would be,
Yeah, for sure.
on that same hole. Number 10 was the one where I holed out last year from like 120 or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but Brycer, man, congrats. This was a fun pod. This was
Thank you.
kind of cool to do one with just you and I, and be
Hopefully,
able to talk about our game a little bit. And obviously, a 66 is something that, golfers at our level, Brycer's, quite a bit better than I am right now. But something pretty special, man, for us to be able to kind of celebrate a 66 is something cool, man. That's pretty special.
Yeah, if you guys are still listening and kind of battled through me ranting about my golf game, thanks for staying. I hope that wasn't too much for you guys.
No, it's kind of cool to go through hole by hole. I'm sure some people are listening to it. So if you've got like a good story about like your lowest round or whatever, we would love to like put together. We talked about the hole in one pod, but we'd love to put the round like together a pod or something about lowest rounds. I think it would be cool. Or even if you just want to like shoot the shit, just send us a DM over at OTS Golf. And remember, Brycer's
even just like a really cool hole you had, like my eagle, I said was the best one I ever made. If you have one where you remember exactly the yardage and you kind of couldn't believe you kind of pulled it off, like come shoot us a DM and we can talk about it.
Let's have a chat, yeah. And remember, Brycer stayed hydrated through that round with BioSteel all day using the code SCREWS30 over at biosteel.ca or biosteel.com. But that was a really cool pod. But hopefully we'll be chatting with a couple cool guests in the next little while. And at this point in time, you should be watching the Canadian Open. So hopefully that goes pretty well too. So until next time, Bryce, or anything before we go?
No. Hopefully at this point we've heard a little more about the merger. I know we're pre-recording this a little early, but we'll see how it goes. We're excited.
Yeah, we're excited to see how it goes, and it'll be kind of cool that the event is up here in Canada, the first event after. So after the merger has been announced, so it'll be kind of cool to see how everything unfolds. And
one more thing, little side note. I was talking to Vim the other day. He was actually the first alternate in the U.S. Open qualifier in Toronto this past Monday. So he went in the morning to hit balls just in case. I mean, you never know if someone kind of drops out before the round. And he said he was hitting balls right beside Harry Higgs.
Yeah.
He said there was like 60 people behind him watching him smack golf balls. So I thought that was a pretty cool story here.
I heard Drew Harvey, who's been on the pod before from Beyond the Contour, was saying that he was over there watching it, and Harry Hicks had a pretty big following there. So that's definitely
so Vim was right
cool.
beside him. That's cool.
That's really cool. It'd be fun to kind of just chat with Harry Hicks.
And then he called me on his way home at like 10 o'clock and said, everyone played, so I'm on my way home. I kind of chuckled at that, but cool. That's
too bad, but definitely a cool story. And Zach's game is trending in the right direction. Zach Viminitz has been on the pod before, so if you haven't, go follow him over on Instagram. Find him on our account. His game is definitely trending in the right direction, man. So, Brycer 66, congrats, man. We'll be back next week. We've got a couple, like I said, a couple cool ones coming up.
He's out in my ball in the course, so I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross. Worst case scenario.